Hey guys, welcome back to a different kind of video. So I have this video game, this All-Star Baseball 2003 featuring Derek Jeter from 2003. It was actually released in 2002. I bought this 2 years ago, and you can see the tag where it's from Video Game World, $5 in Concord, North Carolina. This is an original Xbox. It is backwards compatible with the 360. I only have a 360 and an Xbox One. Today, what I want to do is I want to compare to see what stadiums that are in this game, which, by the way, is just the modern stadiums. There's no like classics or anything like that in this game. It's just what was the modern stadiums at the time, and what you can play in the modern The Show games. What stadiums are in this game that you cannot play in modern day games. So as I had mentioned, I have the 360 and the All-Star Baseball 2003 is backwards compatible with the 360. It's not like some other consoles where every game is backwards compatible. There's a specific list, but luckily this game is on that list. It's also helpful that it's on two different consoles because I can have them both plugged in. You see, this is the All-Star Baseball 2003, and I can just go right over to the other one. It's simple as that. I don't need to switch out anything except the input. And also, if you're one of those people that's picky about screen recordings, you're gonna hate this video. But like, I'm not even. But I guess this video is like not even really for gameplay. It's just trying to look at the stadiums, really. So hopefully, if you're someone who's picky about that, you'll still find this okay. And if not, I still don't really care that much. And even if I was going for gameplay, it would be incredibly difficult for me to hold this phone and play at the same time. So first here I am on the show. This is 24, as MLB 25 is only on the, I guess what you would call now the current gen consoles, which I still don't have. I don't know. I don't really have much motivation to get the new Xbox yet. So we're dealing with 24, but honestly, from what I've seen, it's basically the same thing. The big difference in 25 isn't related to any of these stadiums. The big difference is you have a few college teams in there, except for Oakland, but that doesn't really matter because Oakland in the game plays in a generic minor league stadium, which in my book doesn't count because it's not a real stadium. But anyway, let's get on to the modern stadiums. This is the modern stadiums that you all see in current day. You have Arizona, Atlanta at Truist Park, Oriole Camden Yards, Fenway Park for Boston, Wrigley Field, Guaranteed Rate Field, Great American Ballpark, Progressive Field, Coors Field, Comerica Park, Minute Maid Park, Kauffman, Angel Stadium, Dodger Stadium, Lone Depot Park, American Family Field, Target Field, Citi Field, Yankee Stadium, Rickey Henderson Field, which, like I said, I know this is not in the show 25, or maybe it is as a classic stadium. I don't know because I don't have the game. If you go into the standard, team selection stadium section, I don't know what you call that officially, but if you go into this section in 25, you would be met with a generic minor league stadium, is my point. Citizens Bank Park, PNC Park, Petco Park, Oracle, T-Mobile, Busch Stadium, Tropicana. I don't know what they did about Tropicana in the show, if they had enough time to switch it to something else. Again, I don't have the game, and I've never really watched anyone play it online. But here's the rest of the stadiums. Finishing with the Nationals. We're going to head over here now. And there it is. So I do want to say there are a lot of these stadiums that have made minor upgrades. Like, let's use Wrigley Field as an example. They have done a decent amount of renovations. But to me, it still looks like Wrigley no matter what era it is, right? So I wouldn't consider that 2003 version of Wrigley Field compared to 2024. I don't really consider that enough of a change to include it in this video. You know, if there was like a major renovation, like for example, when Angel Stadium, which does not apply in this because in this game, Angel Stadium is still in its modern state, so it won't apply. But say it was a slightly older game when it was still like a donut stadium, I would consider that because it's just so drastically different. Yeah, something like Wrigley, yeah, it does look different than it did 20 years ago, but it's mainly video boards and stuff and where the bullpens are. It's just not enough visually for me to include it as like, oh, this is basically a completely different stadium, you know? So also the thing about this game is that there's no real selection of the stadiums. It's just whoever you select as the home team and you're playing in their stadium. There's no real stadium selection to see the stadium, we are going to have to start up the game, which honestly was going to be my plan anyway, but you're kind of forced to in this game. We're not going to get too much into the gameplay, like I said, because it'd be impossible for me to hold this and play at the same time. But, you know, like I said, the point is just to look at the stadium. This is Synergy Field. This is a little bit loud, isn't it? Or is it just me? But this is the old Cincinnati Stadium. Just a year or two before they opened Great American Ballpark. We'll get up into where you're batting. Actually, I think I can skip this because this will take a while. Here's your lineup for the Angels. But yeah, we're just getting a look at the stadium here. It's your classic donut stadium. The bullpen, was that scaffolding back there? But yeah, I think at this point it's not a full donut anymore because they were actually building Great American Ballpark in the background, which I think you can sort of see. Let's throw this pitch right down the middle. Didn't swing. But you can sort of see it over there is the them, I guess, or is that the hockey arena? That could be the hockey arena because you know I've been to Cincinnati a few times, so I kind of know the layout of the stadium area. That could be the hockey arena. Okay, so the next one we're gonna have here is Qualcomm. This is currently where the Aztecs play. Not this stadium. They demolished this stadium, and on its site they put their own stadium. But they actually did play in Qualcomm, the football team, for quite a while in this actual stadium. Of course, the Chargers used it, but again, 2004, the Padres moved into Petco Park in downtown, and this became a football-only stadium. But at this point, in 2002, this is still used by the Padres, and it is yet another donut stadium, which you'll probably see a theme. I think almost all of these are donut stadiums. When they're not being used anymore and you can't play them in modern games, it is kind of cool to, you know, look back on them and it's like, oh, there I have this game and I can play, you know, in Qualcomm Stadium. I do like how they attempted the palm trees out there too, kind of like what they have in the modern Petco Park, but it just looks so much better in Petco because there's actually nothing behind it. It's like a park, where in this case it's your little beach thing and then just rows and rows of stands. Okay, so here we have the previous iteration of Busch Stadium, and surprise, surprise, it is a donut, although I do like what they have going on up top here. That is kind of a unique thing. It actually did include the real Busch logo in this video game. I guess that didn't do anything for the rating. I know in some video games, if you have a beer logo, the rating knocks you down. But anyway, yeah, this is, like I said, hey, Redbird. Like I said, this is the previous iteration. It is a full donut, just like most of the ones that we're going to be looking at here. But again, not a stadium that you can play in modern show games. It is a little bit different. I guess even though donut stadiums are generally all the same, they do have little features that make them stand out, like the attempt at the beach in San Diego. Is this like a video board or is this luxury boxes over here? I'm not actually quite sure. But this kind of makes this stadium stand out a little bit, whatever those are. Those might be luxury boxes, but someone more knowledgeable can tell me that. Is that Coke bottle? All right, here we are, Veterans Stadium. Again, another 2004 opening of Citizens Bank Park. And this one, honestly, in the outfield, it does look like just generic. I don't really see anything right away that jumps out as unique to Veterans Stadium here. This is, of course, another donut stadium that you cannot play in modern games. Um, yeah, I don't know how much. This guy is just in the middle of nowhere. I know it's just a giant wall, but Roger Clemens just looks like he's in the void. And yeah, that's kind of your view of center field. Just seats, basically. And yeah, honestly, there's not much to say about this one. Um, I again, it's always cool just looking at any stadium that isn't around anymore. Yeah, there's not much to look at here. So this is our last one, the Montreal Expos, the Olympic Stadium. I would say this is also a donut stadium, just like all the other ones, except this one has a roof on it. And the outside actually looks kind of unique and cool. Yeah, obviously Montreal's last year was 2004 before moving to Washington, where in a different game that I have, 2K7, you play in RFK Stadium as the Nationals, which is, unrelated specifically to this video, but, you know, if I ever did a 2K7 video, RFK Stadium would be in it. While we're on the topic of 2K7, you can actually play still in Olympic Stadium in 2K7. 2K7 was the first MLB game that I owned, and I played a lot of it. And apparently, it's not just me. A lot of people love that game. There's 6 classic stadiums that you can play in 2K7, and one of them is Olympic Stadium. And I guess probably 2K7 probably included it at the time because it was still somewhat recent, the move from Montreal to Washington, that they probably already had the assets built from previous games, so they just kept it in the game. But I always thought that was cool that you could play in Olympic Stadium in 2K7. See, it's a little bit unique. It's not just a wall of stands in straight center field, but at the same time, it's meh. So this is actually the last one that we're going to be looking at here, and I am going to explain why, because there are other teams that are playing in stadiums that they don't play in current day in this game, but I'll explain why I won't be touching on those. So there's a handful of teams that don't play in stadiums that they do now that I'm not going to be showing off in this game, and you might already know the reason why, but let me go over the list of teams here first. We had the Minnesota Twins, who at this time played in the Metrodome, the Yankees, who played in the original Yankee Stadium, the Texas Rangers, who played in what is now Globe Life Field, currently being used for like spring football and soccer. The Braves, who played at Turner Field, which is now the football stadium for Georgia State. Florida Marlins, who play I forget, I think it was Joe Robbie Stadium at the time. Now it's Hard Rock Stadium, which looks completely different. So if for some reason they still played there, I would include this as one of those. Well, it's basically a different stadium sort of thing because it looks so much different. Where obviously, as Hard Rock Stadium now, the Dolphins still play. The Mets played at Shea Stadium at the time. And that's it. So the reason why is because we have this classic stadium section where all those teams that I just showed you still have their stadiums in the classic stadiums here. Obviously, a lot of these are really old and don't apply at all to 2002, like Shibe Park over here, which, side tangent, I found color 4K video from 1929 of Shibe Park recently on YouTube. I thought that was really cool. But anyway, the first one that's relevant to us is Yankee Stadium here. The original one. Well, I guess the original renovated stadium post 1976. But actually, it says it even right there, 1976, 2008. But video games did not exist before 1976. And if they did, they're just little dots on the screen. We also have Shea Stadium here. And here's the Metrodome for the Minnesota Twins. And Old Miami, Joe Robbie Stadium is in this game. Here's Turner Field that they just call Old Atlanta. Here is Old Texas. So yeah, no, that's it. But anyway, the reason why I didn't go over those specific ones is because they are in Classic Stadium section of the game. And yeah, so that's it. I'm not sure how well this video is going to do. I don't really care. It's just something random and interesting that I thought was cool. And yeah, if I might do other video game related stuff, actually recording it with a screen recorder, who knows. But yeah, other than that, that is it for me. Thanks for watching, and I will see you all later.